Howdy on YouTube, I'm Owen H. Welcome to another Jurassic special of What's It Worth. Still reviewing the Jurassic Park films leading up to Jurassic World Rebirth. So excited! Now I'm going to review the next chapter, The Lost World Jurassic Park. 4 years after Jurassic Park, Ian Malcolm not only learns that there is a second island full of dinosaurs, but his girlfriend, Sarah Harding, is on that island and sets up a rescue mission to get her out. But the task proves more difficult as a second team arrives only to capture the dinosaurs and bring them to the mainland. When my parents got it on VHS, this was like my top favorite. As a matter of fact, I actually liked this Jurassic Park over the first one. But then I grew up a little bit and I just kind of noticed there was something a little off about The Lost World that made me lean more towards the first film, and I didn't know why. And now as an adult, I know what it is about this Jurassic Park that is a little off. It's the storyline. The film went through some drafts. Most of the rewrites were the ending until they went with the San Diego end. I get the impression like they just took bits and pieces from each draft, and it kind of comes off as a little, it's alright. And the reason it was like that is because they were focused more on the special effects in this movie than they were focused on the storyline. Now, get me wrong, the visual effects in this film was awesome, even though there's some snippets of flukes. Some of the puppet effects, you know, they showed their little hydraulics, and if you slow down, you're looking for those flaws, it's like right there, and you go, ah! But I feel like when the movie focuses too much on the special effects and the story, that's where audiences kind of go, you know, I kind of like the first film a little bit better. In this film, they did expand it a little more where they show you some more dinosaurs like the Stegosauruses, the Pachycephalosauruses, the Compies. You know, like the dinosaurs you never got to see in the first film, but make their appearance in the second film. But I felt like T-Rex robbed up most of the screen time. I get it, T-Rex was really popular. It used to be my top favorite dinosaur, still is to date. But they put two T-Rexes in one movie. It was like, there is a point where it does get a little exhausting. So, I mean, I get it, T-Rex is really popular and all, but does he really have to rob up the entire movie? And then you get some velociraptors, which they're scarier than ever in the second film. And you're probably thinking, you know, what happened to Michael Crichton? Well, here's the thing. I never read The Lost World because I'm still rereading the first Jurassic Park. But from what I've gathered from what people have said is the book is nothing like the movie. Like, the characters are in it, but there are characters that you don't know that are in this book, but they're not in the movie. And the reason for it is because while they were making the movie, Michael Crichton was writing The Lost World as they were filming it. And I guess they swapped around notes left and right. The creature effects done once again by Stan Winston was also awesome. It's like the next best improvement with the first Jurassic Park. I mean, it was like, I'm so glad this guy really just stuck around to do the dinosaurs for all the Jurassic Parks, because Stan Winston is what makes this movie. Like, the dinosaurs are super real, and this guy goes out of his way to make them real. And it's just so awesome how he pulls them off. He did some improvements where the hydraulics were a little bit better. The T-Rex puppets were actually able to clamp onto stuntmen and actually yank them up in the air and move them around. However, no doubt this was a huge headache for Stan Winston when Spielberg decided to film these creatures once again in the rain. Two T-Rexes being soaking wet. And that's when Stan Winston came up with a plan B where he had an emergency stop button attached to, I guess it's a motor that's connected to both T-Rexes. So if anything goes wrong with the T-Rexes, because Spielberg still hasn't learned his lesson from the first film, he goes, If anything goes wrong, press this button. But so far, nothing went wrong. So the T-Rexes, they were all good. And it was even an even bigger headache when the T-Rex's head is poked through this little waterfall trying to get to the humans on the other side. He's probably going like, ugh. And also the cool tricks they also showed you in the bonus features with the compies pecking the living crap out of Dieter. How they pulled that off, I was like, it was pretty cool. They were just these tiny little puppets, and they were on this jacket that the actor would be wearing. And what they would do is they would just control these things to just basically peck at him in all directions. And it was, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. Stan Winston is like the Jedi master of creature effects. I mean, it's like, I wished I could go to his school of character arts. For some of you that don't know, the San Diego ending was not the actual intended ending. In the original drafts, it dealt with the humans trying to escape the velociraptors in the abandoned facility, in which there was a motorcycle involved. But the other versions contained pteranodons. Yes, the pterodactyls that are supposed to attack the chopper as soon as they leave, and there's just all kinds of carnage that ensues. How they thought of this for The Lost World was way more intense and more gruesome than what they would produce later down the road. There was one version where the pteranodons attacked the chopper, and I'm not sure if it's connected or this was a completely different draft. But Nick Van Owen, Sarah, Ian, his daughter, and Ajay, yes, Roland's friend with the glasses, that guy doesn't die from the velociraptors. So what they do in this ending is they have to use these hang gliders to fly to, I think it's the facility. What happens is the pteranodons, they just came up out of nowhere, start attacking the hang gliders. Some of them made it, but not Ajay. Oh no, he gets a way more gruesome ending. What happens is he has like 2 or 3 of them that attack him in mid-flight and just rip him apart so bad that Sarah had to look the other way. And that's when they just decided to just go with the San Diego ending, because it was just like, they were like, oh, what the hell. When they did the San Diego ending, there was a lot wrong with that part. And you can tell when something is rushed, because there were concepts in that scene that made no sense. For instance, when the ship crashes into the docks and they're going aboard, so they go into the pilot's cabin. How does a T-Rex fit his entire head, kill all the crew, and there's no sign of damage on the other side as far as we know, because they didn't show it? How it managed to tear all those people apart, but then managed to get itself into the cargo hold and is just trapped there until somebody decided to close it. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. It was like they just threw all kinds of shocks in there and then just they leave it up to you to try to make sense of it all. This is the part where he kind of throws in his dark, twisted sense of humor, where he's got this King Kong vibe going on of shipping a prehistoric creature overseas, and he wreaks havoc on the streets. And then you got like a minor Godzilla joke just staring you in the face. And then you got a bus running over Drew Struzan's artwork in a video store. Really great pieces. I'm not sure if they're real movies or they just made it up. Oh, and of course, you do get the cameo of David Koepp, the screenwriter of the first 2 films, and the upcoming Jurassic World Rebirth, getting eaten. And he's credited as that poor bastard. Is it over yet? And it was like, the ending I felt was kind of a mess, and that's pretty much what happens when you just spring up an ending out of nowhere and then just try to make it make sense. Despite the movie being a little off, this is actually a really good Jurassic Park film. There are a lot of pluses to this movie. You got Jeff Goldblum reprising his role as Ian Malcolm, which is awesome. You do get the cameos of Lex, Tim, John Hammond, the original actors. Of course, you got Julianne Moore as Sarah Harding. You get Vince Vaughn. You got Pete Postlewaite, one of the prisoners in Alien 3. You got the Russian from Armageddon. You got, I mean, it's just an awesome ensemble. On top of the actors being the greatest, strongest backbone of this movie, John Williams does compose some pretty intense music for this follow-up of Jurassic Park. The dinosaur action is awesome. The dino kills are really intense and almost gruesome, especially with Eddie's death in the film. Which, there was one point where I'm like, I wonder what would happen if they screen capped them about to rip him in half and it became like an anniversary card. Yeah, I'm sick that way. One more thing is, there was a scene that I think they filmed, but I never saw it, and I never knew it even existed. So, it's when the T-Rex regains consciousness. He's in San Diego. He goes into somebody's backyard to slurp some water, because no doubt he's dehydrated as all hell. A dog just irritates his soul. He eats the dog, and the kid pisses him off by taking a picture, and he's like, ah! There's a snippet that it looked like they filmed it, but they didn't put it in the movie or in the bonus features. It might be in the Blu-ray version, I don't know. But apparently that little kid had a little sister who goes into his room. I don't know if the kid and the parents were eaten or they managed to get out of there in time, but it shows the little girl standing in her brother's room and the T-Rex's head is poked through the window. Well, that's what happens when somebody flashes a camera at you while suffering a massive hangover. But they should have at least put that as like an extra deleted scene with the 2 deleted scenes that we're all fully aware of. One is where Ludlow uses the little girl being attacked by compies as the witch he needs to take the company away from his uncle. And the other one is Roland's introduction, where you get to explore him a little bit more. And speaking of the little girl being attacked by compies, this is where Spielberg took elements from the first book and he's put it into the second film. And the little girl being attacked by compies, that's exactly from the book. Well, not exactly, but close enough. So it was kind of cool. They did leave in elements from the book, and it's like as the movies go on, they just piecemeal concepts from the books into the movies as they go on. So where do I rank the Lost World Jurassic Park? You know, despite the movie having its own little flaws here and there, I'm going to give this an almost full price rating because it's a proper sequel that it doesn't top the first film, but it doesn't really weaken it at the same time. I mean, it leaves you wanting more. Okay, so I'm done reviewing the Lost World Jurassic Park, and I'm moving on to Jurassic Park 3. Please leave a comment, please subscribe. I'm Owen H, and have a nice day, and keep cool, because it's freaking hot out.